Hello everybody, Ghostblade 1062 here with another rolling stock review. Today we will be looking at a set of 3 gondolas that I ordered from AliExpress made by Evemodel. I have looked into their stuff for a little while now to see if it is something that I want to use for future projects. Their knuckle couplers have been working perfectly fine for me, so I decided to give them a shot. So I got a 3-pack of their gondolas. These are a unlettered gondola. And now let's move on to the unboxing. Alright, so here I have the 3 boxes, and as we can see they aren't in the best condition, and this is how they arrived, so hopefully there isn't any damage to the actual gondolas. And we'll start with the first one here. Opening up the package, and the car is in this nice 2-piece cradle, which is holding the car secure. It doesn't really shift. Picking it up, it has some good weight to it. And we do also have this little baggie here containing a whole bunch of separately fitted parts, including our handrails, our grab irons, and our brake wheels. And now on to the next one, but first we'll take a closer look at the box. So we have the Evemodel logo, and this is their Freight Car Series rolling stock in HO scale. On the bottom here, we see that we have metal wheel sets as well as non-magnetic bearings and body-mounted couplers. This information is also available on the top. And on the back here, we just see that it is their freight car series. No actual information about the exact car type. We have their manufacturer's address here as well, and an age restriction warning. Car number 2. And on to car number 3. And here is number 3. And that is all 3 gondolas. And what I will do next is go through and attach the detail parts off camera, and then we will move on to the detail overview section of the video. Alright. I have off camera gone through and added all the detail parts to one of these gondolas. So now, let's take a closer look. Starting at this end here, we have our steps on either side hanging down, with grab irons underneath the buffers. which do have separate coloration from the main body here. On this end, we also have our two grab irons on the side here, with our support structure here extending up from the buffer beam and descending down from the top a little bit here as well for the framing of the car. Moving on to the side here, we have our hookup point for cranes in case these cars ever derail. We also have our frame detailing as well as quite well done door and hinge detailing on this side here and for our three doors. The truck detailing also is fairly well done with very nicely detailed suspension and brake details. Then here we have our separately fitted brake wheel. And going towards our last door here. Now onto the far end. This particular car, first of all, the one buffer isn't sitting straight, as well as our coupler is warped. And again, we have our steps. We have our handrails on either side. And we have these platforms here with grab irons matching the height transitions here. And finally, the last side, we have much of the detailing is pretty much all the same as its counterpart. Looking into the car from the top, we have our planks going crossway for the load surface. And I do intend to eventually build loads for these cars as well as repaint them, which is why I only did the attach the detail parts for one of these cars. And now looking at the underframe, we see our NEM shafts at either end here, as well as our trucks here, and we see the springs for the NEM, the coupling mechanism that allows it to shift. We have some decent molded in detailing on the bottom here as well, with the air reservoir and some brake dyne detailing as well as our brake drums. So all in all, not too bad for detailing. By ways of prototype comparison, I have here a Pico Classic line type EAOS 106 gondola, and by ways of the actual build of this gondola, I do see a lot of similarities between the two, at least in the main body shape form. However, as Evemodel has not actually released what kind of gondola this really is, I do not know for certain that it is an EAOS 106 type gondola. However, it is very close. The other two cars, like I said, I have not detailed yet, as I do have intentions of repainting them for the purpose of making a custom coal mine in the future. So, which having all the detail parts fitted for that would be a bit of a pain. as I would have to dissolve all the glue to remove them, as all of the, other than for the brake wheels, all of the holes for the separately fitted detail parts are too large. As such, all of the grab irons had to be glued in. And next, we will move on to the rip track segment of the video. Alright, time for the rip track segment. To start off with, we are going to verify the wheel gauge of the cars, followed by swapping the couplers to Evemodel number 19 knuckle couplers, and then of course verifying our coupler height. So starting with the first car, truck number 1, axle 1, we are good. Axle 2 is good. Truck 2, axle 1, good. And axle 2 is good. So the first car, the axles are good. Now on to car number 2. Axle 1 is good. Axle 2 is good. Truck 2. Axle 1 is good. And axle 2 is good. And now for car number 3, the one that has the detail parts attached. Axle 1 is good. Axle 2 is good. Truck 2, axle 1 is good. And axle 2 is good. So by ways of axle height, wheel gauge, we are good. Though one thing to note is that all of these axles have very deep flanges. So there is a good chance that with code 83 track or smaller, you will hear the clicking of the flanges hitting the ties. Now onto swapping the couplers. Ooh, this is... There we go. That is the first hook and loop coupler out. And the new coupler in. Coupler number 2. Okay, that's car number 1 done. There we go, that one was sticking a bit. There we go. And one thing I am noting here is that there seems to be locking stages on the NEM shafts for these cars. So if you want to be further out with the coupler like this, you can do so. That is definitely something I'll have to look into as I try these cars on the track. Right, and finally car number 3. There we go. That is the coupler swapped out. And now to verify our coupler height, and we'll start with our detailed car. Coupler 1 is good. And it already wants to roll. My desk sits at a little bit of an angle, so... Okay, my second coupler here, the trip pin is catching, so I'll have to adjust that a bit. And now we are good. Car number 2. Height is good. Now for the other truck. We are actually sitting high on the second coupler for this car, but hopefully it won't impact us too much. And now for coupler number 3, car number 3, not coupler number 3. And we are catching, so that trip pin will need some adjustment. There we go. And my reasoning for adjusting the trip pins is if I don't, they can catch on switches and cause short circuit. Well, crossovers too. Okay, there we go. And for the last coupler, that one is good. Alright, so we have one coupler that's sitting a little bit high, but otherwise we are good across the board. So now let's take these cars over to the track for a test run. Alright, let's see how these cars couple up. Okay. Alright, that coupled up well. And now let's couple up to the rest of the train. Alright everybody, this concludes my review of the 3 set of Evemodel Gondolas that I had ordered from AliExpress. By ways of running, they are running very well. I haven't had any issues with uncoupling or derailing on them. Detail-wise, they are decent. I'd say they are about equal to most manufacturers' entry-level lines, maybe reaching up to some of the mid-tier stuff. The only real notable issues that I've had with them, the hook and loop couplers that were installed on them from the factory were warped and sitting crooked, as well as some of the buffers were not put in straight. But aside from that, I haven't really had any real issues with them. And in the future, I may also look into getting more of them as I start building my custom mine railroad. And these cars are also available as kits from Evemodel, so I may also look into getting some of those. And in the future, I will also be repainting them for my custom railroad company. So that'll be a future project. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe for more model railroad content. Have a great day, everybody!